Yo, what is up, guys? My name is Cachero, and welcome back to another episode of Real Sports Bets. And today, we are going to be going over the UFC card for UFC Vegas 20. It's going to be Rozenstruik versus Ciryl Gane. Should be a fun card. But before we get into the video here, you guys know to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are getting so close to 400 subscribers, and I'd love to be able to hit that by the start of this card. But also, you can follow us on our social medias at BetsEarl on Instagram, at Earl Sports Bets on Twitter. Other way around, at BetsEarl on Twitter, at Earl Sports Bets on Instagram. And as always, leave your best bets in the comment section below. But let's get into this card. We're starting it off here with Maxim Grisham taking on Dustin Jacoby. Around minus 179 for Jacoby, plus 154 for Maxim Grisham. Jacoby coming in 13-5. He's 1-0 in the UFC. On his second run, he had a couple fights beforehand, got cut, and then he's back now. He got a nice win versus Ledet in his last fight. Maxim Grisham coming in 31-8-2. He's 1-1 in the UFC. Coming off of a knockout win versus Krylov. And this should be a fun fight. Looking at the Jacoby side, I think he's going to have a good game plan where he's going to come in. He's a great striker, and I think he's going to outstrike Grisham. He's going to use his jabs and his calf kicks. I think the calf kicks are going to be a huge weapon for Jacoby in this fight, where he's going to be able to use those to slow down Maxim Grisham, kind of immobilize him, and get him slow him down and get him tired a little bit more. The only thing that I really have questions on the Jacoby side here is his cardio. I have a feeling he might get tired after 2 rounds, but I think he might be up 2 rounds by then. Looking at Maxim Grisham here, I just feel like this is a bad stylistic matchup against Jacoby. I feel like he's just going to need to just work on his clinch work and do things like that. He is durable, so I don't think this is going to go. I don't think Jacoby is going to get a knockout here. One alarming thing with Maxim Grisham, though, he weighed in at 210. He missed weight by 5 pounds, which is really alarming. We're going to go with Dustin Jacoby in this round, or in this fight, and I like the over 2.5 here. I like Dustin Jacoby by decision. I like a lot of decisions on this card. You can get Dustin Jacoby for plus 190 by decision, so that's kind of a nice price tag. I like that as well. I might take a stab at that, but I like Dustin Jacoby here by decision. Rather comfortable decision in this fight. Next, we have Ronnie Lawrence taking on Vince Cachero. Minus 160 for Lawrence, plus 140 for Cachero. I believe Lawrence opened up around a minus 180, and that line's moved a little bit more, has moved towards that minus 160. Lawrence coming in 6-1. This is his UFC debut. Cachero is coming in 7-3. He's 0-1 in the UFC, coming off a decision loss versus Jamal Emmers. But that was on short notice, so that's something to keep an eye out for. For Vince Cachero, he's a good striker. He has okay power, and I believe he's going to get some forward pressure in this fight. The only thing that's really worrying me is his takedown defense, because for Lawrence, I know he is a good gas tank. He's got decent wrestling, and I believe he'll be able to drag this fight to the ground. I think he's going to be having a good mix of striking and then mixing in takedowns. And I think he's going to be able to control this fight a little bit more on the ground. I think he'll probably win round 1 and round 2. And then I don't know about his cardio coming into round 3. Or I think he'll have enough cardio, but it'll be interesting to see that. We're going to go once again with the favorite here. We're going with Ronnie Lawrence, minus 160 in this fight to get the job done versus Vince Cachero in this fight. All right, next we have Alexis Davis taking on Sabrina Mazzo, minus 208 for Mazzo, plus 178 for Alexis Davis. Alexis Davis coming in 19-10, 6-5 in the UFC. Coming off of 3 straight losses, though. but they're against Viviana Araujo, Jennifer Maia, and Caitlin Chikagian. 3 really good opponents. So not really much you can blame her for there. Sabrina Mazzo is 9-1. She's 3-1 in the UFC, coming off of a third round submission win versus Kish after a decision win against Aldridge. So, and she's coming in on 3 straight wins. But my worry for this one is it's maybe a little bit too much too soon for Mazzo. I think she's only 23 years old. And looking at it, for Alexis Davis, I think her striking is definitely improving. She's going to have a lot of forward pressure and be able to maybe control this fight with her pace and stuff like that. And if it gets into the clinch, she has great elbows, great strikes in the clinch, and 100% she is a live dog in this fight. And I believe this is more of a dogger pass type of fight here, especially with the women's MMA. You know how it is. Armbar from guard is feels like always an option here. Looking at Mazzo, I feel like she is the better striker though, and she's more of a volume striker. But I feel like she's going to need a finish really to win this fight, and she easily gets pressured, which can play right into Alexis Davis's hands. I'm going to go with the dog here. I'm going to go Alexis Davis plus 178. And if you want, you can increase that a little bit more, plus 250 if you want Alexis Davis by decision. But I like her in this fight to get the job done versus someone I think it's a little bit too much too soon. All right, heading on to the next fight, another women's MMA fight where, once again, I believe we have a live dog. We have Ashley Yoder taking on Angela Hill. This fight should be according to Vegas, not a close one, but I think it's going to be much closer than it really is priced to be. Angela Hill coming off of a loss versus the karate hottie Michelle Waterman. And then Yoder coming off of a decision win versus Granger. Now those two type of fighters are way off of each other. I think the more talented fighter that they lost was Waterman out of those last two. But looking at this Angela Hill side, I think this line is way too wide, as you guys may have guessed by now. And that's because I think her takedown defense is really weak, and I think this is going to be one of those where Ashley Yoder could use her wrestling, use her grappling or BJJ, and bring this fight to the ground, work in the clinch, and have the strength advantage and outwork her. I think that this is going to be a fight where Ashley Yoder controls Angela Hill on the ground. I think she's the stronger woman, and looking at Angela Hill, she has a lot of really close decision fights, and that's not someone I want to back with a minus 370 tag. I'm going to take a stab here at the dog of Ashley Yoder, plus 295. It does give me a little pause taking a plus 300, but I don't care. I feel like that's the value side on this one. I think Yoder can get it done by decisions. My bet. So if you really wanted to push it a little bit more here, you can look at Ashley Yoder by decisions of plus 375. Get a little bit more value there potentially, because I don't think this fight's going to decision. If you want to parlay this in a big parlay, I would suggest the over 2.5 for this one, as well as the last one with Davis and Mazzo. All right, heading into the next fight, we have Alexander Hernandez taking on Thiago Moses. Hernandez minus 235, Moses plus 200. And Hernandez coming off of a knockout win versus Gutzmacher. Looked good in that fight. But I think this is going to be a coming out party here for Alexander Hernandez. Moses coming off of a decision win, very close decision against Bobby Green. I feel like Bobby Green really won that fight, but it is what it is. For Moses, I don't really know how I would back him. He does have a good ground game, so maybe that BJJ can come into play, maybe a submission, but I don't think he's submitting Alexander Hernandez. and I don't think he's knocking out Hernandez either. He is a low output striker, and I don't think he'll be able to land that one punch to knock him out. Looking at Alexander Hernandez, I think he has huge power. He's great wrestling, tons of skill, tons of talent, and I think he'll be able to fight a full game plan, be faster than him, and get the job done. He's definitely a parlay piece for me, one of my favorite parlay pieces, along with someone a little bit later in this card. But I like Alexander Hernandez minus 235 to get the job done. That's a very wide price. I'm not going to lay that straight up. I'll probably have that in a couple parlays and stuff like that. But we're taking Alexander Hernandez to win this fight. Now, next we have Alex Caceres taking on Kevin Croom. And this is the one where a lot of people are on the dog here. Caceres coming in 12-10. He's a minus 180 favorite. Or 12-10 in the UFC, 17-12 overall. Kevin Croom is 21-12. Really, he's 1-0 in the UFC. That's been marked a no contest because he tested positive for marijuana, which is stupid, but I digress. After that really impressive first round submission versus Roosevelt Roberts. And I think that this could be a possibility here against Bruce Leroy here with Alex Caceres. Looking at Croom, the only thing that really worries me is his chin. I think his chin is a little sus, but I think he can outmuscle Caceres, and I think he definitely has the cardio to push a pace and pressure. He's fought in 5-round fights before. I believe he'll get takedowns with Caceres here, and he's 100% the value side for this fight. So I really like Kevin Croom in this fight. I don't know how you really back Caceres at a minus 180. He's won his last three fights, but he's fought Austin Springer, Chase Hooper, Steve Peterson. Like, he's fought no names. So I like Croom here to take care of business here versus a very untrustworthy Alex Caceres. So give me Croom plus 155. I like that price versus Alex Caceres. I feel like that should have been more towards a pick'em line. So I like Croom in this fight. All right, next we have a fight that was scheduled for a couple weeks ago, but we're getting it now. We're getting Pedro Munoz taking on Jimmy Rivera, minus 145 for Rivera, plus 125 for Munoz. Munoz is 18-5, 8-5 in the UFC. Jimmy Rivera is 23-4. He's 7-3 in the UFC. These two have fought before. It was a split decision going Jimmy Rivera's way. And I kind of like the opposite side for this fight. I kind of like him by decision. I like Pedro Munoz. He's got good leg kicks, and I think he'll be able to out-volume Rivera. I think that's his path to victory. He's made improvements. I think he's going to pressure him, and I don't think he's getting knocked out. He's a really good chin. For Jimmy Rivera, I think he's going to need to keep this fight standing. But the only thing that really worries me is he's a very low volume striker, and I think he'll land the bigger shots, but I think that he'll get out volumed really and lose on the scorecards here. So give me Pedro Munoz by decision for this fight. I like a lot of decisions in this card, but I think this one definitely is justified. Rivera does not have any finishing power. Plus 250 for Munoz, I don't mind that at all for the decision prop as well, seeing that it's a minus 290 to go over the 2.5. So give me the over. Give me Pedro Munoz by decision in this fight. All right, next we have another women's fight. We get 3 women's fights here tonight. We get Montana De La Rosa taking on Myra Bono Silva, minus 129 for Silva, plus 109 for De La Rosa. And this is a dog or pass fight for me, and I'm going to go with the dog. I think Montana De La Rosa has a really simple path to victory. Use her wrestling, get the takedowns, and really control her on the ground and be able to have ground control for most of this fight and potentially get a submission. I feel like there's really one path to victory for Silva, and that's trying to gain the decision. She doesn't really have cardio, but she does have the size advantage. But very questionable takedown defenses, and that's what she's going to really need against De La Rosa in this fight. One thing De La Rosa really has to be careful of is the arm bars, because Bono Silva is someone who loves the armbar. But I like De La Rosa here in this fight, plus 109. I don't mind the dog price at all. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dogs so far. And I think it's going to be a pretty dog fight, or a dog type of card, because we've seen that the last few cards, and I like it again for this one. But give me De La Rosa here by decision in this fight, which you can get De La Rosa by decision for plus 160, so not too much of a difference there. Not bad. So give me De La Rosa by decision in this fight. All right, next we have the co-main event of the evening. We have Nikila Krylov taking on Magomed Ankalaev, minus 305 for Ankalaev, plus 255 for Krylov. And this is my favorite parlay piece of the whole card. I think that Ankalaev is someone maybe in a year or two taking on someone like Jan Blachowicz for the light heavyweight title. I think he can be a potential title contender at 205. I think he's going to be able to basically control this fight. He's going to take over. He's going to get those takedowns, work with good wrestling, and he has really good cardio. I think Ankalaev is the real deal here. Back-to-back first-round knockouts versus Ian Kutalaba. This guy's definitely got some power in his hands, and I really like him for this fight. Plain and simply, give me Ankalaev here by knockout. And the under looks kind of interesting. Knockout first round. Let's see what that price is. Ankalaev by first round knockout plus 275. Krylov by first round knockout plus 1400. I think if Krylov wins, it's by knockout, but I don't think he'll get that done. So give me Ankalaev here minus 305 by knockout against Krylov in this fight. All right, we've made it. The main event of the evening. Jairzinho, Rozenstruik taking on Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane minus 250 favorite, plus 210 round back of Rozenstruik, and this fight's giving me PTSD for that last week's fight with Blades and Lewis, where you have one person, the more sound striker, and then you have the other person, the knockout artist, the touch of death type. He's losing the fight until he wins it, and that's exactly what we're looking at for this fight. Ciryl Gane, he's a more technical striker. He'll have the higher pace. He'll have the higher volume. He's going to be quick. He's going to be mobile for a heavyweight, and he's the more talented fighter. But Rozenstruik, he has that death touch. It's a small cage here in the apex, which will force some action. I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going to go with Rozenstruik to get the knockout here versus Ciryl Gane. I can absolutely see him getting a type of knockout like Derek Lewis had last week. So give me Rozenstruik here, plus 210. And let's take a look what it will be by knockout. Rozenstruik by knockout would be plus 285. I kind of like maybe the round 3, 4, and 5 props, 16, 28, and 33 to 1 for knockouts for Rozenstruik. I might sprinkle quarter unit each on that, something along those lines. But I like Rozenstruik for this fight. Now I'm going to give my rankings for my confidence rankings for building lineups, for building parlays. The one I'm going to start with is Ankalaev. He's my top confidence pick. I think he gets the job done. Then it's going to go Jacoby. It will be my second pick. Hernandez third. Lawrence fourth. De La Rosa fifth. Kroom sixth. Rozenstruik, Munoz, Davis, and Yoder. Those are my picks and my confidence order for building parlays and things like that. So that's what I'm looking at for UFC Vegas 20. Quick recap of my plays. We're going to go Dustin Jacoby, Ronnie Lawrence, Alexis Davis, Ashley Yoder, Alexander Hernandez, Kevin Kroom, Pedro Munoz, Montelo de la Rosa, Magomed, and Goliath, and Rozenstruik to finish off the nights. There we go. If this information was helpful to you guys at all, feel free to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But that's going to just about do it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe as always. You guys agree with my picks? Do you guys disagree with my picks? Let me know in the comment section below. But let's make some money. Let's cash some bets in the UFC Vegas 20 tomorrow night. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.